फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I'm Surama Kaushik and it's time to gear up for WPL because WPL auction will begin in just a few minutes and we will bring to you all the live updates. But before that, let me introduce you all with Taus Rizvi, Sahil Malhotra and Nisarg Naik who's joined us. Nisarg has joined us for the very first time in this live session. He's a talent manager and he will be telling us in and out of the WPL auction. To begin with you, Nisarg, tell me which is the team to look out for. Like from this side, we are looking forward to Gujarat Giants because they have released quite a lot of players and they have the maximum purse with them. But what do you think? Which team will be the most interesting team to look out for in this auction?
Oh, firstly, thank you, Saramya, for inviting me. I'm, really looking forward to talk about this auction. And as you said, I'm too looking for Gujarat Giants because I think they have got the maximum available slot, that is 10, and they have released most of the players. So it will be, a tough time for them to select the players, and it will be a good thing to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely. Sahil, if we look at Gujarat Giants, isn't it interesting that, one season they were at the bottommost position in that season, and now they have released a lot many players. It seems that they are already looking forward to completely change their team. And they haven't bagged a lot of players, and it'll be quite interesting to see how they go forward in this auction.
This is Surama, the beauty of mini auctions, right? One bad season and the teams kind of press that panic button. Similar
Yeah.
thing has happened with Gujarat Giants. They didn't have that bad a auction last time around, but clearly the players weren't kind of able to gel together. They didn't have the kind of season they would have hoped for. Just 2 victories out of 8 games wasn't an ideal season for them. Wasn't an ideal season for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. So I think both these teams were on that releasing spree before the deadline kind of ended, and that is why we see that they have around 10 slots left to be filled, and it's going to be a completely new look side for them. They have the money, and they have the money to kind of upset quite a few bids at the table today. So it will be interesting auction for them, and if they can play their cards right, the mini auction is such that you can just disturb the order before going into the season, and this could well be the case if Gujarat kind of play their cards right today.
Yeah, and let's see what they have in store, for all of us because they'll be a team to look out for. They have released some key players. Kim Garth is one of the most interesting players that they have released. Taus, she's a player with 50 lakh base price, and each and every team is looking forward to her. She comes from Ireland, and she is the one who has a very interesting story in T20s. I believe right now Gujarat Giants must be thinking, oh, whether that was a wise decision to make or not, because they have released her, and now all teams will be looking forward to spend crores on her.
Absolutely. I was there last year. We covered extensively from Mumbai because the whole tournament was held in Mumbai, Uncapped Stadium, Cricket Club of India, and DY Patil. And of course, Kanav was there, our colleague. So we reported from the ground. I mean, it was an exciting tournament last time because it went till the end. I mean, nobody knew who's going to land where, who's going to make it to the knockout stage, who's going to make it to the final. And in the end, Mumbai Indians won. I mean, that was something exciting. And the crowd, you see today, international match, which is being played, only half of the ground is filled. But then the WPL ground, we could see, I mean, the stadium was almost packed. The kind of craze, it was amazing. So this is something, an important option for these guys. I mean, Gujarat, everybody expected to do well when they bought the players. Everybody wanted to put up performances. RCB was the one that was the most talked about team. That was the one, predicted to be the champions in the first IPL, but everything turned upside down at the end. And Mumbai Indians went on to win the title. And considering Harmanpreet Kaur was in the eye of storm, a lot of controversies was. But then how it happened, everything was quite exciting. Gujarat Titans' expectations was high from them. I mean, they had some good players, they had some good youngsters, but then suddenly, as Sahil said, panic button, they pressed a panic button, but then they have another opportunity. They have a huge purse. They will go for some good players. I mean, I would like to tell you, the foreign talents were the most important part in the IPL. In the WPL last year, they were the reasons why the other teams, Mumbai Indians, one of the major reasons the Mumbai Indians, the UP Warriors, the Delhi Capitals performed. I mean, of course, the international players were the Indian international, but then it was the foreign players who played a key role in
Yeah.
being the team that they are. They will go for Gujarat Titans. Will definitely go for Kim Gurt again. They might put up some good competition out there with the other bidders. But then whoever wins that Kim Gurt will be the winner, and I think Gujarat has the scope because they have good money in their purse.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Taus, when you said, that overseas players will be the ones to look out for. Because if we look at WPL final, only I'm taking the case of the final, okay? In that, Natsiva Brand was the player of the match. Haley Matthews, I believe, player of the series, or vice versa. I guess player of the tournament was Haley Matthews, and player of the match was Natsiva Brand. And throughout the tournament, there was some really a good key of foreign players who played really, really well, especially Meg Lanning, the way she led the team and took the team to the final. So there are n number of foreign players. Nisar, tell me who are the key players, the foreign players who will be in this auction and who we should look out for.
See, the Chamari Attupattu is, I think she will be going, at a huge burst. The team will go behind her because I think she have done, tremendous well in the WBPL. Other player, keeping Chamari Attupattu aside, she is Annabelle Sutherland, who
Hmm.
Gujarat Giants released last year. Because she is also a terrific performance. Just I think they were not up to the mark in the very first season, but they have got the capability to deliver it. Other than
Yes.
that, that is I think Deandra Doughton, who was
Yeah.
into the controversy last year with Gujarat Giants, but again
Yeah.
she is coming from the West Indies, power hitter. So I think she will be good suited in the middle order, and she can play as a finisher role.
Yeah, and but it's quite a good journey of Chamari Attapattu. She has done really well, Sahil. If we see in
Yeah.
T20 cricket, she has led that Sri Lankan team to quite a lot of glories. And then Leander Dotton, obviously, Nasar mentioned that thing that all the controversy that happened around Gujarat Giants. But yes, again, these two players for me are one of the most important bids that I'll be looking forward to. What about you, Sahil?
Exactly. Attabatu, when she was snubbed last time around, it came as a shocker to everyone
Yeah,
because we weren't expecting that to happen. But then she went on to do what she did for the national side, consistent performances time and again. And one player which we are not talking about often is Danny White. I think she
yeah,
should be setting the stage on fire today. She proved in the game against India a couple of days ago that she
yes,
has that skills in the middle order. You need see for the in the IPL, in the WPL, you need those players who can take on the spinners and the slow bowlers in the middle overs. And with the
hmm,
way the women's game goes on, in the circle, yes, you do get runs. If you take India's
yeah,
example, Smriti Mandana, Shafali Verma, they continue to give you explosive starts, brisk starts. The problem
yeah.
arises in the middle overs. When we have seen the likes of Harmanpreet also kind of play catch up on most of the occasions, that she'll go run a ball and then explode towards the end and eventually end up with a strike rate of 125, 130. But Danny White is one player who can just get off on jet set go. So you need a player like that in your ranks. So I'll be keenly watching her and how the teams kind of go after her because RCB and Gujarat do have the purse, and so I think one of them should go after Danny White because she'll add a lot of firepower in the middle order. I think that is something which is required in the WPL because the moment the season kind of grows old, then then comes a point when the pitches start tiring out, the square starts tiring out. So that is when you need some muscle in the ranks, and that is what someone like a Danny White definitely brings to the table.
Yeah, and you rightly mentioned that she proved her skills in the first match, against India. And that was another name that comes to my mind. The very interesting release was Shabnim Ismail. UP Warriors released them, and that's also an interesting name. So I think we have four names with us. Taus, any other name to be added to this list? Because Chamari Attapattu is one, Leander Doughton, then Danny White, and then we have Shabnam Ismail. So we have like four
Perfect.
interesting players. Yeah, so we have this list also.
Wellington, I mean, the thing is that I mean, Deandra Dottin is something. I mean, was one player I think everybody was looking forward to till she got injured last year. So that was
Hmm.
something a big disappointment for them, for the team that had taken her. But then, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of foreign names. But I'm more keen on how these, which I would like to know from Nishan. Nishan, I have a few questions if I can ask Ramya.
Yeah. Nisarg's there. Yeah.
Nishant, see, how do you, being a talent manager, tell me like what are the expectations from foreign players, or if what happens if they don't deliver, and what kind of a cap do they keep? I mean, why is there so much burden on them? I mean, of course, we know foreign players. We see in the IPL how they come and deliver, what kind of role they have. Everybody has a particular role. But then when it comes to WPL, I mean, how the teams, what they look up to when it comes to foreign players, what are the expectations, what are the responsibilities do they want to give it to them? Vishan, I want some kind of answers from you. Like, what is the mindset of the teams, basically?
See, last year when we saw Mumbai Indians top three, I will talk about the top three teams: Mumbai, Delhi, and UP Warriors. They were totally relied much more on the foreign players rather than being dependent on the Indian players. So I think the foreign players will definitely play a vital role when it comes to the auction thing and a team management is concerned. So more and more top order batter as well as the middle order. I think the team will go for the middle order and all rounder thing, because when we talk about, firstly when I talk about the Gujarat Giant team, they have released Keem Garth and Sutherland. They both are batting all rounder and bowling all rounder, respectively. So what I think is Danny Gibson. She might be an X factor in this auction, because she opens the batting for the Northern Lights in the hundreds, and she also bowled the very first over. So she
Okay.
completes the quota of 4 overs and also deliver power hitting at the opening of the innings. So I
Hmm.
think the foreign players have great role to play into a team, because when we see the Indian youngsters, they are not acclimatized with the situation currently, so they might take some time coming up to third to fourth season. But till then, I think there is a big burden on the foreign players.
Also, Suramya, my thing is that I'm more keen on like foreign players. Of course, they will be bought. They will be by the teams. They are the most important. They are core in most of the teams. They have more responsibility. They will go and deliver. I want to know what these senior guys, senior ladies are going to. I mean, there are expectations. These women have put up their name in the auction. Veda Krishnamurti, Poonam Raut, Sushma Verma, Ekta Bish, Gaur Sultan, Mona Mishra. So all these players have been veterans. I want to know, like, I'm keen to watch how many teams will go and buy them. Will they buy them for what they have been in the past? Will they buy for them for the emotional reasons, or will they be looking for a mentor in them? Apart from that, I mean, a few of them were also the
Yeah.
commentators in last
They took.
IPL, WPL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
disappointed. They look disappointed not being part of the IPL. I'm keen to know what they might have done something extraordinary during the trials, or maybe they might have practiced a lot, showed that, because a lot of responsibility lies on them. They have a history. They have done for India. I mean, that is something very much keen. I want to know what exactly how they bring them, because
Yeah. So Taus was talking about the senior players, and it'll be quite interesting, Sahil, to see such senior players competing with someone like Mannat Kashyap, who played in the Under 19 World Cup, and she just busted all the charts because she was in that World Cup, and everybody saw, okay, there is this rising girl who can be part of the India A team, and then now everybody. I think each and every team in this auction will be looking forward to her. Now,
Yeah,
my question is that you track domestic, I mean, regardless of, be it
yeah.
men's cricket or women's cricket, you track domestic a lot. Then you also track other kind of tournaments, be it Under 19. And how much of these performances, Under 19 performances, domestic performances, weigh when it comes to like a WPL auction or any sort of auction? Does they count a lot?
Of course you do, because you don't have that much of a sample size when it comes to women's cricket. You don't have that many international games going around. You don't have, there are number of games, but I wouldn't call it a very competitive domestic circuit yet for the women's cricketers. Because they started the under 15 tournament recently, where Delhi and Haryana played the final. So if you look at
Hmm.
scorecards of some of the games, it's kind of baffling. Teams getting out at 30s, 40s. So the ecosystem is getting there. We are not a finished product yet when it comes to women's cricket in the domestic circuit. So the little
Yeah.
games which they get, the little games which they play at the international level, at the under 19 level, or players going out in other leagues around the world, say the 100, say the WBL, I think
Hmm.
they are they are right up there when it comes to the criteria of, players kind of making that auction shortlist or being on the radar of different franchises. And that is what franchise which follow, because we are still far away from that camp culture when it comes to women's Premier League. It'll take some time because you need that healthier pool to kind of create that kind of environment or ecosystem. So games like these made at the under 19 level, at the under 16 level. I'm forgetting the name. Yeah, very very hard hitting player last year from the northeast. If Nisarg, you can kind of
Uma
remind me of
Chetri.
her name.
Uma
Uma
Chetri.
Chetri. Uma
Yeah.
Chetri.
So,
Uma Chetri.
exactly. Players like these just coming out of nowhere, on the basis of their performances in the domestic circuit. I think these are the kind of names you look forward to, and Manat Kashyap is definitely one. And we're not speaking too much about Tara Norris right now. Associate
Yeah.
Nation, quick bowler, was released by Delhi Capitals, if I'm not wrong, last time around. Did well, but the moment kind of pitches became on the slower side, I think that is when they couldn't fit her into the scheme of things. But again, a fresh season, a fresh start, and you would always want someone like her who has been like that freelancer when it comes to different leagues around the world and playing and rubbing shoulders with the best in the business. So you would definitely need someone like a Tara Norris. So even she's one player you could keep an eye for, other than the Indian names we have been discussing.
Yeah.
When we look about these uncapped players, the top five, I think Vrinda Dinesh will be the one who will be going, in a huge amount, because she is under the radar of many of the teams. She did well in the India A team as well. She did well in the for the Karnataka under 1923 as well as this senior women. So I think she will be the one to watch out for.
Mm. Nisak, you were also talking about when you were talking about this Gujarat Giants team. You mentioned, how they need top order and middle order batter. In that sense, Vrinda Dinesh can be a good buy for them in this auction. So their top order will be sorted then.
Yeah, the Vrinda Dinesh and Bat Muni. I think they can open the innings for the Gujarat Giants, and Vrinda Dinesh can also play in the middle order as well. She batted for
Hmm.
two down for Karnataka team when it comes to senior women's. So she can be
Okay.
flexible at any position, and she's a great asset to a team.
So, everyone who's watching our live and people who are connected with us, Brinda Dinesh is one name among the uncapped players that you really need to look out for in this auction, WPL auction. The auction will begin at 3 p.m. So, people asking us about the time of the auction will begin at 3 p.m. That leads me to the next question is, sir. It's about Uma Chetri. Sahil mentioned that point about Uma Chetri. She became the headline, I think a few months back when she was in that Asian Games squad as well. Now you tell me she's a wicket keeper also. Which team really needs a wicket keeper like her, and where she will be best fit in this season?
I think Uma Chetri will be Delhi Capitals will be looking for Uma Chetri as a second wicket keeper, because one
Okay.
she they have got Tanya Bhatia. I think she will be the
Hmm.
regular wicket keeper as a backup, and to nurture an Indian talent. I think Delhi Capital will be looking for Uma Chetri.
Okay. Taus, WPL obviously when it started like a revolution, and I would not call it a revolution because I would say it's an evolution of women's cricket and women's participation in sport as a whole. So it's both revolution and evolution of women's participation in sport. Now, this is something we're going ahead, from one season to another, and now people are getting to know about women's cricket. The other day in India England match, we saw how people were there at the Wankhede Stadium. So people are now getting to know the women players as well. That's how important this auction is. I know it's a mini auction, and people still don't know about a lot of women players, but still, how this auction will be helpful auction for the players who play at domestic level who have done great at the under 19 level, because I know from last season to this, a lot of girls must have been quite encouraged. Now, no, I have to perform well in domestic seasons. तभी मेरा number आएगा WPL के अगले auction में. So how important that transition must have been.
It's very important to these for these youngsters especially, and for people who have played the game in the past. People who have been the cap players but they haven't got the opportunities, and they might get this WPL. If they don't get one, unfortunate, unlucky for them. But then yeah, it has grown. I mean, last year, see, this is the most important year for WPL. लास्ट ईयर हम बात कर सकते हैं कि भाई एक एक्साइटमेंट था, नया नया अनाउंसमेंट था, द काइंड ऑफ ऑक्शन दे वेंट, इट वाज quite a fancy auction. It was in Geo Center, and it was shown live on network 18 Geo 8 cinema, and it will be shown again live today as well. So I was there right out there to cover the auction pura throughout, and there were some really good buzz. There was some great excitement out there. A lot of people, exactly like how IPL auctions are conducted. So वैसे ही था last year, and this year I'm sure it's going to be same. When it comes to the future, this year it's going to be important कि किस तरह fans आते हैं, किस तरह crowd होता है, because I mean last year it was in Mumbai, so a lot of fans went there from the DY Patil ground to South Mumbai Brabourne Stadium. Fans were there, but then if this tournament is spread out throughout the whole nation, it will be important to see how people respond in the other centers, because Mumbai has, we are known what kind of crazy cricket fans are in Mumbai. So it's easy to fill up the stadiums, but it's important to see how the other cities come and fill up the stadiums, watch people, these women cricketers play in WPL. Apart from that, when it comes to these young cricketers, obviously प्रेशर होता है, और कल मैच है, आज मैच है शायद, तो आज एक्साइटमेंट तो उतना ही रहेगा. कैसा रहेगा, कौन कितने में लिया गया, कौन कितने में गया ऑक्शन में, ऑब्वियसली वो फैक्टर रहेगा. दे विल बी डिबेटिंग अबाउट कि मैं इतने में गई, आई गॉट सम lakhs or crores. The other person who might be a friend sitting next to her, यार मैं शी विल बी डिसअपॉइंटेड कि यार मैं इतने में चली गई, कैसा. सो आई होप दे टेक इट स्पोर्टिंगली, क्योंकि ऐसा अब फ्यूचर में होने वाला है. And the most important part, I could see last year itself, where I could see a lot of girls showing interest. Girls, we used to see boys playing on streets. I saw a few girls playing on streets thanks to WPL last year. In fact, I have a daughter, and she's also interested in WPL, watching these women play, saying, "Papa, मुझे भी cricket खेलना है." So this is something very important. It's up to BCCI right now how they market the game, how they take it to because this is a perfect future for the future. For the current generation, for the Gen Z, for the millennials, if they can pursue the sport at a professional level. I mean, if you look at domestic cricket, it's not that robust. Maybe they don't have the platform. Maybe it's not seen the way WPL is seen, or maybe the IPL is seen. But then if the IPL is conducted, WPL is conducted the way it should be, like how IPL is done, and the limelight is on these young cricketers, I'm sure a lot of girls will be hoping their future is bright, and they are going to earn in lakhs and crores in the upcoming, in the near future. So I think this is a very important year, considering we had a great year last year, but this is the most crucial, because I don't know if there's going to be buzz like how it was last year, but then how do these girls do in this current international matches? It will depend on them, and we have to win it, because we lost the last game against England. So we have to win the next 4-5 games. Right, Sahil?
Obviously, it will be, I mean, quite interesting to see this auction. I remember, the last auction, Sahil, the WPL auction, and there were visuals of the Indian team sitting in a lounge, and, everybody was cheering when Smriti Mandhana was, sold out for around 3.40 crores, if I'm not wrong. I mean, yes, around 3 crores. And everybody was cheering. Then there was Deepti Sharma, then there was Harmanpreet, and they were all so excited. And I remember, the one meeting where I had a chance to talk to Harman, she said that it was not about money at all. It wasn't about, that we are getting this much money or that amount. It was all about कि यार जो हमने तब से सोचा था, कितने सालों से सोचा था कि यार हमारा नाम भी कभी ऐसे आएगा, क्योंकि हम लड़कों को देखते थे उस ऑक्शन में जाते हुए, तो हमें आज अपना नाम सुनकर, और जब वो एक फीलिंग होती है कि वो हैमर जाता है और फिर आपका नाम आता है, सो इट्स अ वेरी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ अ फीलिंग. सो I guess the whole transition must be really good, and this is the first step that we are looking forward to, a huge evolution in the sport.
I think yes, last year we saw there were some teething issues, there were some teething troubles, which is the case with every new league, with every new initiative. So the deeper you go into this tournament, the more additions you have, the sooner you kind of start traveling. Abhi it was just restricted to Mumbai. whether we'll have a home and away format or we'll move to the newer centers, the smaller centers. I think it will help in overall penetration of the women's game across the country, which is required right now, because we are kind of a very comfortable audience when it comes to India. We wake up during the medal events, we wake up during the Commonwealths, we wake up when the team makes the semi-final. Abhi, not many would be watching except the people in Mumbai following the in the India-England series. So I think that perception needs to change, and that the way we follow sport, the way we follow women's game, I think that needs to change. I think WPL is going to play a major step, because we can't expect our audience to wake up and watch WBBL or to watch the 100. They won't be doing that. So you need those
Yeah.
household names to first become household names. So the likes of Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet Kaur, all these will be very crucial in kind of taking that flag, to keep that flag marching right up there. And I was kind of surprised at the last auction. Smriti Mandhana kind of outnumbering Harmanpreet's bid, and then
Yeah.
Smriti didn't go on to have a very good season, because उस
Yeah.
टाइम पे वुमेन्स क्रिकेट में उथल पुथल चालू था, तो सबको यही फीलिंग था अगर स्मृति वो टाइटल विनिंग सीजन दे देती WPL के अंदर फॉर RCB, things could have changed at the national front too. But then MI being MI, and picking being in their habit of picking the national skipper and making them win the title, that was again the story. And even from last year, the visuals of the men's team, the Mumbai Indians men's team cheering for the women's team from
Yeah.
the ground, sitting there in the
Yeah.
dugout, I think that was a brilliant visual. And then Virat Kohli going and giving that pep talk to the RCB team, the women's team, during their season, the visuals of that, I think that's a beautiful video, and that kind of gives us a sneak peek into the future on where this game is headed, how this is headed, how much of a role, we can be those feminists, and I could be called a male chauvinistic pig for saying that, but I'm just saying that the men's game needs to just kind of hold the women's game forward right now and just keep pushing it along, because it can't happen in isolation. अगर हम कहें कि अभी आप मेंस
Yeah.
टीम को परे हटाओ और वुमेन्स टीम अपना अलग सरवाइव कर लेगी, ऐसा नहीं होने वाला. मैं कोई ये नहीं कह रहा कि आप बिल्कुल उनको अलग करो, बट दैट सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द मेंस टीम, the support from those big names, support from people who are investing money in the men's team and the players, that needs to trickle down to the women's game too, and it is happening. It has started
Yeah.
happening now. People are making good money. People like Harmanpreet and Smriti Mandhana are already contracted, have good annual contracts, have good sponsorship contracts. They are making money. Visually, they are very much everywhere now. They are kind of right up there on the map when it comes to other T20 leagues in the world too. So I think this needs to become a norm now. And the more this happens, the more our game will grow, the more fearless we'll get. The only problem with our side, which I feel, बहुत timid approach हो जाता है एक point के बाद. वो मिला के खेलने के चक्कर के अंदर ना asking run rate 9.5-10 पहुंच जाता है. So the more we get fearless, the game will kind of grow, and we'll kind of end up winning those ICC trophies, which we really are desperate of winning, both men's and women's team. And that will only happen when you become fearless and you play with Dileri. वो दिलेरी और जिगरे से खेलना पड़ेगा. And leagues like WPL, when the pressure is right up there, the price tag of auction is kind of weighing you down. If you perform well in these leagues, I think it will do your confidence and team's confidence a world of good kind of before the international assignments.
यस एंड साहिल, आपने ट्रॉफीज के बारे में बात करी, तो अगर हम WPL देखें, IPL देखें, एक ऐसी टीम है जिसे ट्रॉफी की बहुत जरूरत है. निसर्ग, आप दीजिए ना कुछ तो ज्ञान दीजिए टू दैट टीम, सो दैट एटलीस्ट IPL में नहीं तो WPL में वो ट्रॉफी लेकर आए. लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट RCB, कितने स्लॉट्स है उनके पास और क्या करना चाहिए. निसर्ग, एवरी RCB फैन वांट्स वन ट्रॉफी एटलीस्ट, अब वो किसी भी साइड से आ जाए.
See, when we talk about RCB हो men's team हो या women's, उनका bowling lineup बहुत ही weak रहता है every year. So पहला चीज तो उनको थोड़ा bowling lineup पे they need to focus. I think शबनम इस्माइल जो can be an asset for RCB team. दूसरा वो लोग कीम गर्थ पे भी जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि गुजरात जायंट्स ने मुझे लग रहा है बहुत बड़ा गलती किया है कि they have released कीम गर्थ. So Kim Garth can be an option for them, as well as one X Factor player. What I feel is Zil DeMello. Zil DeMello under 19 Bombay player, captain थी इस साल. उनको लास्ट ईयर आरसीबी ने एज अ नेट बॉलर बुलाया था. दिस ईयर आई थिंक शी इज इन द ऑक्शन, एंड आरसीबी ने मुझे लग रहा है उनका नाम रेकमेंड किया है. तो शी कैन बी एन एक्स फैक्टर. दैट्स व्हाट आई फील. लेफ्टी पेसर है, बॉल इन स्विंग करते हैं राइट बैटर को. आई थिंक शी कैन बी एन एक्स फैक्टर ओवर हियर.
या एंड आरसीबी का हमेशा ये रहा है, उनके पास बड़े नाम जरूर होते हैं, ऑब्वियसली स्मृति मंदाना इज विद देम, और बाकी भी है, सोफी डिवाइन एज वेल, सब लोग हैं उनके पास, अच्छे नाम रहते हैं, बैटिंग लाइनअप बहुत सॉर्टेड रहता है, बॉलिंग लाइनअप बिल्कुल ठीक कहा निसर्ग ने, मेंस टीम हो वुमेन्स टीम हो वो थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लमैटिक है, एंड निसर्ग टोल्ड की क्या ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं इस आईपीएल के. लेट्स गो टू द अदर टीम, the third team. We started with Gujarat Giants. We currently talked about Royal Challengers Bangalore, and now let's move on to the next team. Next up, we have UP Warriors. UP Warriors started off well, Nisarg, in the last season, but then things went downhill for them. They couldn't manage to do well in the tournament, and they were somewhere in that कि हाँ जा सकते हैं, final में पहुंच सकते हैं, नहीं पहुंच सकते हैं. What went wrong with the team last season, and what they can improve this season in this auction?
I think see the greatest strength for UP is foreign players, but मुझे लग रहा है लास्ट ईयर कंफ्यूजन कहाँ पे होगा कि उन्होंने शबनम इस्माइल को सिर्फ 3 मैच खिलाया था. तो वहाँ पे मुझे लग रहा है कि उन्होंने अच्छा अरेंजमेंट ऑफ फॉरेन प्लेयर्स नहीं किया, जो सेटअप था वो बराबर मुझे नहीं लगा, और ये साल उन्होंने रिलीज कर दिया शबनम इस्माइल को. तो अभी मुझे फर्स्टली दे नीड अ गुड इंडियन बैटर, यंगस्टर. मुझे लग रहा है एक मिडल ऑर्डर पे भी खेलना चाहिए, क्योंकि उन्होंने सिमरन शेख जो पावर हिटर है उनको रिलीज कर दिया है. देविका वैद्य लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर, द हाईएस्ट बिड इंडियन प्लेयर लास्ट ईयर जो थे देविका वैद्य, उनको भी
Yeah.
उन्होंने रिलीज किया. पहले दे स्टार्टेड विद श्वेता शेरावत इन द ओपनिंग स्लॉट, देन दे बॉट हर द नंबर 6. बाद में देविका को उन्होंने ओपन करवाया, व्हिच वाज क्लूलेस फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. तो कुछ पता नहीं वो लोग ने क्या किया था. सो दे नीड अ बैटर, गुड बैटर. वृंदा दिनेश कैन बी एन ऑप्शन ओवर हियर. गौतमी नायक है, जो जिन्होंने मुंबई इंडियंस ने उनको बुलाया था ट्रायल्स को, एंड दे शी हैज बेस्ट ऑल द बॉलर्स ओवर देयर. तो गौतमी नायक कैन ऑल्सो बी अ गुड ऑप्शन. एंड मन्नत कश्यप. जब हम इंडियन कंडीशंस की बात करते हैं, वी शुड हैव अ गुड लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स इन पर्टिकुलर, बट लेफ्ट आर्म रहेगा तो और अच्छा रहेगा. तो मन्नत कश्यप कैन बी अ गुड ऑप्शन फॉर देम एज वेल.
Sahil, help me to understand this. UP Warriors, especially. 4 players उन्होंने release किए हैं. उसमें से वैद्या and शबनम इस्माइल 2 players है. हम देविका के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, and then we are also talking about Shabnam. These are the 2 players that each and every team will be looking forward to getting the team. Do you think कि कहीं ना कहीं गलती हुई है यूपी वॉरियर्स को अपने ही प्लेयर्स समझने में? Because Nisarg rightly mentioned that Shabnam got just 3 matches to play in the last season, and this time Shabnam is one of the most lookout player in this auction. So what do you have to say about this UP Warriors team? Somewhere or the other, do you think कि कहीं ना कहीं तो इनका internal player understanding या फिर अपना setup में कुछ issue है? I think there's some network issue. Yes, same question to you, Saus.
See, I was just looking at the squad, and I've like followed UP last year. I mean, they had some quite good players in them. I don't know what exactly went wrong. I mean, if you look at the squad, retained players list before the last year, they were part of the squad and massively. I mean, look at the international players. Alisa Healy, somebody who is an Australian
Yeah.
legend, somebody who has been a senior lady out there, cricketer in the Australian team. She is part of the UP squad. Dipti Sharma, the all-rounder, the captain. She is been the part of UP Warriors. She's quite a talented cricketer. I mean, you look at this Kiran Navgire. She is also one of the talented cricketers. Sophie Eccleston. I mean, Tahila Megra. I mean, if this kind of team cannot win you or maybe make it to the runners-up, I mean, I'm surprised. A lot of factors were involved in the UP Warriors' defeat last year. I mean, they were not consistent. They started off well. I mean, and the way they played initially, they were looking to be one of the reigning champions. They could have gone and win the title, or maybe put up some kind of performance. I'm surprised how and what exactly happened. Suddenly, I think it was the lack of consistency that which they have to address right now. And the release of players surely suggests that they have. I mean, Devika Vaidya as an international player. We know the kind of talent that she can bring. You cannot judge players by one season. That once you haven't performed in that particular season, and then suddenly you release them, or maybe a Simran Sheikh, somebody who's a power hitter. She comes from a difficult background. She's from Dharavi, Mumbai's Dharavi area, and she's like a Rinku Singh story. I mean, see exactly what Rinku Singh was given some time in for KKR. He was not immediately. I mean, you can't expect him to perform in the first season itself. Shimran Sheikh, you should have been given some time. You should have you should save players for the future. These youngsters for the future to perform. Otherwise, suddenly if you ask them to play in that condition in the first season of the IPL and then they don't deliver, you can't. I mean, it's quite harsh for them to come out and suddenly say. I mean, still, I mean, finishing third place was still good for UP Warriors. They could have been in the top two, but they
They
finished.
could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, they finished in the top three, which is not a bad season. So I'm surprised they
Because
released 12
obviously,
players.
South, if you have Elisa Haley out there, you have Tyler Magra, you have Deepti Sharma, you have great players, great combination of Indian and foreign players, and still you are managing them well to win. Or, I mean, win is something else, you know. Even managing to be in the top two, it's something of great concern. And then you release four players, two of them that you mentioned, you know, have great potential. And two, we have been talking about those two players, Shabnim Ismail and Devika Vedder, from the very beginning of this live show. But let's see what they have on the cards and what they are planning to do in this auction. Next up, quickly, we have the Delhi team, and obviously, this team really played really well in the last season. They have three slots remaining. Nisarg, what they can do special in this auction, because they'll be looking ahead to win the trophy this time and not just end up as runner.
See, what I can see is they have released three players. They are Aparna Mondal, Jasi Akhtar, and Tara Norris. Aparna
Yeah.
Mondal is a wicketkeeper batter who recently plays for a Railways team. So I think her substitute can be Uma Chetri or Sushma Verma. I can only see two options as of now in her
Hmm.
place. When you talk about Jasi Akhtar is a middle order batter who can hit the ball hard. So here again we can consider Vrinda Dinesh as an option because she can also play
Okay.
as a middle order. She can also play up in the order. And Tara Norris, I think they have got one overseas option left, slot left, so they will be aiming for Danny Gibson. I think. Danny Gibson
Okay.
can also open the inning, can also bowl four overs. Kota Chamari Attupattu can also be an option for them. They've got a lot of option for they can easily spend 2 CR on one foreign player and then 10 lakhs each on the Indian players.
Yeah, and it sounds that Delhi Capitals are pretty much sorted this time. They've just released three players. They haven't done a lot, they haven't touched a lot with their main squad, and they have kept their squad intact. So it'll be one team that'll be very interesting to look out for in this auction. Let's move on to the Mumbai Indians team. पहला सीजन जीत के जाते हैं टाइटल. साहिल ने बताया कि मुंबई वालों के पास तो कुछ अलग प्लान होता है. साहिल, टेल मी, क्या ऐसा क्या रेसिपी है मुंबई के पास कि आईपीएल में 5 टाइटल अपने पास है, डब्ल्यूपीएल में आप पहला सीजन खेलते हो, आप ट्रॉफी जीत कर जाते हो. हरमन के बारे में जिस पर इतनी ज्यादा बिडिंग नहीं हुई थी, वो आपको ट्रॉफी जिता कर जाता है. और इस बार भी एवरीबडी इज लुकिंग आउट फॉर मुंबई इंडियंस. क्या सोच रहे हैं करने को?
I think last season, they started on a roll, 5 consecutive victories. After that, there was a hiccup in between. They lost 2 games, but then ended the campaign the way they are known to. They registered a win again. 6 wins is no ordinary feat, for a side which is just coming together. As I said, there are a lot of teething troubles when you assemble a squad for a new league, and full credit to Mumbai Indians there. The kind of squad they put together around Harman, and then they backed Harman when not many were backing her. So as Tauswai said, Harman was in the eye of the storm that time around. It wasn't an ideal surrounding for her because a lot was happening around her. A lot of talk was happening around her. So it was a big season for Harman too, and for her to win the title, that too after when she was not when people expected her to be the highest bidded player. That didn't happen at the auction. So
Yeah.
would have weighed her down too, but that wasn't the case because she ended up with the trophy. And that mindset, we can go on and on about that. The culture which MI creates, it's very different from what other franchises do, and that's kind of reflecting in the fact the number of players that they've released for this season. So they kind of believe in continuity. They believe in keeping their core intact, and they have 5 slots to be filled. And this speaks about the champion side. They are just addressing what is required right now, just filling in those crucial blanks, not pressing reset or panic button. And why should they? They have won the title, boss. They shouldn't do that. And full credit to Delhi Capitals too on that front. They could have tried something extra. Ki boss, we missed out on the title. So, let's try out a couple of new things, but they didn't. They stuck with the team which kind of delivered them with the results in the last season, and those are the teams you would see doing well this season too. The teams which stick to their players, this team which sticks to their plans, and both MI and DC have managed to do that.
Yes. Absolutely. Taos, what do you think? Mumbai Indians किस प्लेयर के पीछे जाना चाहेंगे इस बार ऑक्शन में, क्योंकि 5 स्लॉट्स बाकी है, 2.10 crore they have that purse with them. So what should be the ideal approach for them for this season in order to win the second title?
See, Mumbai depend on their core right now. I mean, if you look at the IPL, the men's IPL also, they have won the IPL because a lot of time, multiple times because of the core. And Mumbai knows what their core is exactly. And the
Yeah.
best part about them is they give time to the players. I mean, they don't get disappointed. They don't show a knee-jerk reaction to even if they lose like consecutive 5 games initially, because they know they have opportunity to bounce back. Even if they fail in one season, they'll bounce back in the next year. So the Mumbai is one of the best sites to be in. I mean, I haven't had a chance to be a part of press conferences where I have asked them the players about the whole family atmosphere. What kind of atmosphere is there in Mumbai Indians? They say it's mostly family. People just go and enjoy themselves. In fact, when Harmanpreet was taken by the Mumbai Indians and when she won the final, I asked in the final press conference, what exactly, how was it? How did you receive? How were you received after that controversy in Bangladesh following what you did not had a great international season? She said that it was all normal. In fact, the owner of Mumbai Indians did not even ask what happened in the past, how was the tournament, nothing, what happened in the international. She just said, "How are you?" and "How is everything?" And it was all cool
Yeah.
out there. I mean, they don't care. They only care about like how the team is responding, how people, players are there, किस तरह का माहौल होना चाहिए, कितना positivity होना चाहिए. That is the best part. And today also, I mean, they won't be really. I mean, they will be keen to have that. One missing puzzle fill in the maybe an all-rounder slot they might be looking to, because they already have settled the opening slot with Yastika Bhatia, who is so good in the top order. I mean, is she there? Yastika Bhatia, right? Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, Jessica Pardia. She's one of the most exciting talents out there to watch, and they have some great players out there. So I think they will be keen to buy some of them. Maybe an all rounder, maybe somebody who can partner Issa Wong, the fast bowler. Uh, Isabel Wong. She, the Australian, she was quite an exciting player last year.
Yes.
Who was extremely well. One of the most important major cog to have help in Mumbai Indians win the title. Yeah, she would look for a partner because I mean they don't lack anywhere, but then it's the consistency they would look to bring in this season, and they would look to
Yeah.
dominate from ball one till the final ball of the WPL.
Yes, yes, of course. Because they have released 4 players only. And the same thing goes with Mumbai Indians also, as it went with Delhi Capitals. They haven't touched much with their team. I mean, they haven't done a lot of changes with their team. So they have kept their core intact, and they'll be looking forward to just add 2 or 3 players so that they make the perfect squad for the coming season. Now, Nisarg, I have this rapid fire round for you, as we'll be talking about the WPL auction here in this rapid fire. So, first question to you is, who do you think might get the highest bid among the uncapped players?
I think of Vrinda Dinesh, definitely from Karnataka.
Okay. Vrinda Dinesh is one name. Nisar's been talking about Vrinda from the very beginning of this live session. So, whosoever is watching our live show, you watch out for Vrinda Dinesh in this auction. Second, who do you think might get the highest bid amongst India cap?
I think Ekta Bisht because she has been doing consistently well for Uttarakhand from couple of years, and I think she might be the one Gujarat Giants may be looking for, or Mumbai Indians as a second left arm spinner option with Saika.
Okay. So Gujarat Giants, obviously, if, we started this live session on that note only, that Gujarat Giants is one team. They have released a lot of players, so they will be trying to do something very different this season. Nisarg, third question, highest bid amongst overseas players.
One is Chamira Attupattu. She is definitely going to be go high, and second is Litchfield. We haven't
Okay.
talked much about her, but I think she has got 220 strike rate when it comes to T20. So I think she is the one.
Okay. And any out of the box selection you're looking forward to?
Yes, I'm looking for Raghavi Best, player from Uttarakhand. She's just 19 years old. She bats and she bowls as well. She's a batting all rounder. Comes at the two down position and bowls for us for the team. I think she can be a great asset for any of the team out of box selection.
Okay. Nisarg, is often said that, in such leagues, teams generally win the title or generally win the league in the auction itself. Like half of the league they win in the auction itself. What do you think? Which team will be bidding the best way forward in this auction?
I think Gujarat Giants because they don't have any option. They have to go all in and
Yes.
out.
Okay. And which team do you think can mess up this auction?
Well, they are Gujarat Giants because if they don't, play the cards well, so they will be definitely messing out with themselves like they did last year. Actually, last year what happened that they were, pretty much relied on Bat Muni, but in the very first match she got injured, and then the captaincy pressure was on the Sneerana, which she couldn't do well. I think they did some blunders out there, and they were in the last position.
Well, okay. So let's see what Gujarat Giants do in this auction. Very clearly, it seems that Gujarat Giants will be this one team to look out for in the WPL auction. Thank you so much, Nisarg, Sahil, and Taus, for joining with me. It was great talking to you guys. Let's see what happens in the auction. The auction starts right at 3 p.m. So you stay tuned with Cricket Nest for all the live updates from that auction. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें,
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस,
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट